Welcome back to Story Time. I'm sure everybody must have had a great festive time during Diwali, but there's still more to come because there is that auspicious moment of Tulsi Vivaha or the wedding of the Tulsi plant with Lord Vishnu himself, which is yet to be celebrated. It is usually celebrated around 10 days after Diwali or Lakshmi Pujan. So, right from Prabodhini Ekadashi or the Shukla Paksha Dwadashi, the 12th day, Tulsi Vivaha, this wedding of the holy basil or Tulsi plant is celebrated. What is the story behind this? Let us hear that today. It all begins with Lord Indra, the king of Devatas, becoming insecure because he realized that everybody was worshipping the great trinity, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva, and he felt that his importance was reducing. He thought that he could not compete with Lord Brahma or Lord Vishnu, but then he thought that Lord Shiva was just the god of destruction and he could easily accomplish the same with his powerful Vajra, the thunderbolt. And so he decided to solve the matter himself. He went to Kailash Parbat, the abode of Lord Shiva, to tackle this issue. Now, Lord Shiva, the all-knowing one, of course immediately came to know why Lord Indra had come visiting. And so he assumed the form of a Dwarapal or a doorman. And he stood there at the entrance of his own abode. When Indra came there and asked to be let in, the Dwarapal told him, "Why have you come?" And Indra said, "I want to prove that I am more powerful than Shiva. So I have come to just throw a challenge and fight with him and finally solve this matter once and for all." And now the Dwarapal smilingly told him, "Oh, is that so? Then first why don't you fight with me? First, if you can manage to defeat the Dwarapal, then of course you can gain entry into Kailash." And Indra could not refuse this challenge. So the fight began. But surprisingly, Indra just could not manage to defeat this mere doorman of Kailash. And he was wondering, how come this doorman or Dwarapal is so powerful? Finally, when Lord Shiva just pushed him away, Indra realized that this must be none other than Lord Shiva and immediately realized that he could be no match whatsoever and fell at Lord Shiva's feet, begging for forgiveness. Now, Lord Shiva had become very angry with this insolence of Indra, and out of that anger came a spark of fire which had to relieve itself, had to come out and burn somebody. But because Indra had fallen at his feet and begged for forgiveness, Lord Shiva immediately, the compassionate one, his heart melted and he forgave Indra. But this fire or spark of anger flew out of him and went far away and got submerged inside the ocean. When Indra asked Lord Shiva what that spark was, Lord Shiva said that was that anger which could have burnt you to ashes. But because you had realized your mistake, you were saved. Indra just realized how he had got saved in the nick of time and left the place. However, this spark of fire turned into a baby in the ocean which began howling and wailing loudly. Lord Brahmaji himself heard the cries of the baby and came to the ocean and took the baby in his arms. The baby was so strong, born out of Lord Shiva's anger, that he began pulling at Brahmaji's beard till tears sprang up from the eyes of Brahmaji. So Brahmaji looked at the baby and told it that since it has brought Jala from my eyes, I give it the name Jalandhara. And so it was that Jalandhara grew up in the ocean. He grew up to become very powerful, and with power comes pride. This proud and arrogant Danav started claiming superiority over the entire earth and also started eyeing the heavens. Meanwhile, Jalandhara had got married to the daughter of Ravana's uncle Kalanemi. His daughter Vrinda was a very pious and divine lady. She was in fact the devotee of Lord Vishnu. In her earlier lives, Vrinda had always begged for the Lord to become her husband, but this wish of hers had not got fulfilled. And now in this birth, as Vrinda, she was still a great devotee of the Lord, and yet she was also a faithful and loyal wife to Jalandhara. So every time Jalandhara went out to battle, Vrinda would begin her prayers to none other than Lord Vishnu, always praying for her husband's safety and victory. And this made Jalandhara invincible. He could never be defeated by anyone. And so even the Devas were in a dilemma. They would soon be driven out of heaven, and so they approached Brahmaji. And Brahmaji told them that since Jalandhara was born out of the anger of Lord Shiva, only he himself would be able to defeat him. So all the Devatas led by Indra went and approached Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva had also seen how Jalandhara had become a cruel and unjust tyrant and agreed to lead all the Devatas in battle. There was a problem, however. Vrinda, the pious and religious wife of Jalandhara, kept praying to Lord Vishnu, and here Lord Shiva and the Devatas were trapped in an illusion created by this Mayavi Asura Jalandhara. Somehow they just could not manage to defeat him. And then they understood the reason. And Lord Vishnu realized that though his devotee kept praying to him to protect her husband's life, he had to step in for the larger good. In the interest of all the good people, Lord Vishnu would have to come and break his devotee's heart. And so he assumed the form of Jalandhara. He came in front of Vrinda and told her, "Yes, I have defeated Lord Shiva. Now I am the supreme lord of the three worlds." Immediately Vrinda got up to welcome her husband. She left her prayers midway and she began making preparations to celebrate her husband's victory. At that very moment, Lord Shiva took out his Trishul and it went straight into the chest of Jalandhara, and Jalandhara was killed. Vrinda immediately realized that something was amiss. She asked Vishnu, who was standing in front of her, "Who are you? You are not my husband." And Lord Vishnu revealed his true form. Now Vrinda was totally devastated. Though she was a devotee of Lord Vishnu, she was also a dutiful wife, and she was heartbroken that her very Lord could come and play such a trick on her. And so she cursed Lord Vishnu. She told him, "Oh, you have been so stone-hearted. You stood like a stone and watched my husband being killed. So I curse you that you will turn into a stone." Lord Vishnu smilingly accepted this curse from his devotee. Yet he also told her that isn't it the duty of a wife to correct her husband when he is on a wrong path? But as you have cursed me, I shall become a stone. But as you had always longed to become my wife in your earlier births, you will be reborn as Tulsi and you will be wedded to me. Now Vrinda left her mortal body, and it is said that her body itself became the Gandaki river and her hairs became the shrubs of Tulsi along the banks of the river. And in the very same river are found the Shaligram stones, the fossils which are the representation of Lord Vishnu himself. Vrinda, reborn as the Tulsi plant, would forever remain the beloved of Lord Vishnu. So she is also known as Vishnu Priya. And that is why on Tulsi Puja day, what everybody does is they take the holy Tulsi plant and they also take the Shaligram, that representation of Lord Vishnu, and there is a symbolic wedding ceremony which people do with great enthusiasm. The entire wedding rituals are completed and everybody celebrates this union of Lord Vishnu and his devotee. When we worship the Tulsi plant in our houses, when we light lamps, when we water the holy Tulsi every day, may we also remember that every devotee who surrenders himself to the Lord is always blessed by him. It may take some time, but the blessings will surely come. Like the name suggests, Tulsi is indeed matchless, not only in its medicinal value but also in the value of devotion it holds, because no prayer to Lord Vishnu is complete without offering the holy Tulsi leaves. The Tulsi Vivaha signifies the onset of the wedding season, and here's wishing all of you that you have a lot of festivities and celebrations ahead. I hope you liked today's story, and I will be back next Thursday with another one. Until we meet again, Hari Om.